A rich and profound legacy.
Amen.
A legacy woven with the threads of resilience, courage, and unwavering faith. It is with great humility and reverence that we come together to honor and celebrate the extraordinary contributions of African Americans in our society, our nation, and our world.
Amen. Bless the Lord.
Let us take a moment to go back through the tunnel of time, all the way back to the shores of Africa, where our people began. Can you hear that door being slammed? Can I get some drummer? Can I hear that door being slammed? Do the bottom one. Can I hear? Okay. Can you hear the door being slammed? The door of no return. Can you see that unconquerable spirit of our ancestors, which continues to guide us through the seas of adversity? Do you know that over 60 million of us were gathered from the shores forcibly?
Yes.
Every single year. And they took us and brought us to these distant lands, and that was known as the passage of no return. Despite the unimaginable horrors they endured, they held on to their faith, their dignity, their humanity. They refused to be reduced to mere commodities. Even though they were packed in the bottom of the ships like sardines in a can, yet they faced the storms of mental, physical, confronted sicknesses, starvation, suicide, jumping overboard, but there was no fish to save them, and the relentless brutality of their captors. Yet amidst the darkness, they found moments of comfort in song, in prayer, and in the unbreakable bonds of kinship forged in the fires of suffering. As they were brought to the shores, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, so forth, Maryland, here our ancestors were still in bonds. They toiled in the hot, as Brother Tom would say, scorching sun, and they fought. Their labor was the beginning of a nation. They built this nation. But yet and still, at every turn, their humanity was denied. As they were lynched and hanged from trees, they were the strange fruits hanging from the trees that Billie Holiday sings about. Listen to that song sometimes. In the bonds of slavery, it was all for political reasons. We were counted as 3/5 of a person. We didn't have we didn't have names in slavery. We were numbers. We weren't named. Look at the census if you don't believe it. All for political reasons. Today we pay homage to the trailblazers, the visionaries who paved the way for us. Of course, you know about Harriet Tubman, our Black Moses, and the eloquent voice of the Civil Rights Movement, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Their courage and their sacrifice served to us as beacons of light, beacons of hope through this world that was so covered in darkness. As the Emancipation Proclamation was signed by President Abraham Lincoln, the battle was still not over. They still fought in the streets, fought in the courtrooms, the halls of power. As those activists fought relentlessly, they fought for our rights. They fought for our voting rights. And some of us have the audacity not to register to vote.
Amen.
You say my vote doesn't count? Sure, it doesn't count because you didn't vote.
Amen.
Voting remains to be one of the most powerful tools at our disposal. We don't have to be subjected to taking a voting test, such as count the number of black eyed peas in this jar, count the number of hairs on a fuzzy worm, or read or quote something from the Constitution of the United States. That was voter suppression, and we still have some forms of that even now. What's keeping us from voting? How can we as Christians help share the light of our God in places that strive in darkness? How can we share with them the love of God if we don't get out there and vote and be more political? Hear this, please hear this. As a black people, we have been voting for only 59 years. The United States has been alive, well, as a nation, 247 years. But we've been voting for only 59 years of that 200 and some years. Yes, God gives us a voice. So did the Voting Rights Act of 1965. But are we using the voice to help ensure that, as the pledge says, and liberty and justice for all?
Come on.
Frederick Douglass said, if there's no struggle, there's no progress. We have struggled as a people and still struggle. But we have made some progress, from the marches of Selma to the legal battles of Board versus Board of Education. Our struggle for justice has been long, but we should be more determined than ever before. Sure, we've had a few wins. First black president of the United States, first female Asian black vice president of the United States, first Supreme Court justice. But Langston Hughes said, hold fast to dreams. But when dreams die, life becomes a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Sure, we can live anywhere our money takes us. We can drive any kind of cars that we can buy. We can eat all the fine fingery food that we can buy. And we can marry any color person that would want us. We have Black History Month. We have a holiday, Dr. Martin Luther King holiday. We have Juneteenth holiday. But our work is still not over, folks.
Amen.
We are still having the killings of unarmed black men in the street, not only by police, but by ourselves. As inheritors of such sacred legacy, we must never forget the cultural richness and diversity of us as a people. As a people. Our cultural heritage is a testament to the indomitable spirit of resilience and creativity that resides in each one of us. We have that same spirit. We must stand together in solidarity, demanding accountability as we strive for valuing all lives. As we look toward the future, let us do so in hope in our hearts and faith in God. For we are the architects of our own destiny, entrusted with that sacred task of building a world that is more just, more equitable, and more compassionate for all people. May we draw strength from the lessons of the past, courage from the challenges of the present, and inspiration for the promise of tomorrow. In closing, let us remember that Black History Month is not merely a time to reflect on the painful legacy of our past, but a call to action for the future. We are the foundation on which this country stands. As we continue to celebrate Black History Month, let us go forth from this place with a renewed sense of purpose and a steadfast commitment to building a world where all God's children are valued, respected, and cherished. Amen.